Gears of War is one of my favorite franchises from the Xbox 360 era. I know the series kept going on the Xbox One, but it was mostly dormant since the 2019 release of Gears 5. It's pretty undeniable that the popularity of the IP has fallen off hard from the late 2000s and the early 2010s. With Microsoft confirming Gears of War E-Day last year, seems like they're gearing up to bring the franchise back in a huge way. And what better way to do that than to do the long-rumored MCC-style re-release of the original trilogy. Now, even though Microsoft hasn't confirmed the existence of a Gears of War re-release collection, a ton of stuff has leaked in the last couple years, and we just got a fresh set of new leaks that we absolutely need to talk about. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today, we're going to go over everything that leaked about Gears of War's collection that leaked over the last week, and I want you to tell me down in the comments how you feel about this news, because some of it is actually pretty exciting, but some of it is also very concerning if it's true. So strap in. This is going to get pretty crazy, especially if you're a longtime fan of the series like me, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let me know if you would like me to do a Gears of War Let's Play over on my Chaos Let's Play channel. Link is at the top description if you guys want to go over there as well. And let's get started. We will, of course, do E-Day over there on the channel. So, a new set of leaks about the long-rumored Gears of War collection just came out from a pretty reliable source on Twitter known as Detective Seeds. Now, their leak track record is a little iffy compared to some of the big-name sources, but they are definitely on the inside. I don't mean for that to sound like a dig or a dismissal. I just like being on the same page with you guys where I'm getting my information from, and when we talk about these things, just know that all the new information we're going to be going over today comes from a source that has proven themselves to have some form of inside information within the gaming industry, even if they haven't really broken any major stories as of yet. So according to Detective Seeds, the Gears of War collection is indeed real, and it's actually going to be launching on the Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 5, which has been the rumor for a while now, but it's allegedly confirmed at this point, which this will make this the first time Gears of War has been available outside of the Xbox PC ecosystem. Seed also claims that the game will be dropping at some point early or mid-August, so it's really right around the corner for us. And this tied in with some other reports that have come out about Gears of War E-Day dropping in 2026. So it seems like Microsoft is planning on using the Gears collection as a way to revive and just kind of regenerate the community and get people talking about the franchise again in preparation for the highly anticipated prequel next year. I've been saying they should do this for a long time. Gears 4 and 5 weren't bad games on their own, but they definitely strayed away from what people want from the series. So Microsoft desperately needs to show people that the series is back in full force. They need to generate some new hype. Re-releasing the classic games, especially with a PS5 port, is the perfect way for Microsoft to say, hey, Gears of War is back. And that all leads up to the launch of E-Day. So I 100% believe that if the collection is real and if E-Day is dropping in 2026, then the collection will drop in 2025. In August, sounds like a pretty solid release window. But there's also some bad news here. I'm sorry. According to the new leaks, there is actually a chance that the Gears collection, are you ready, will be campaign only. Meaning it will not have the multiplayer or the Horde co-op modes, which that's a huge mistake. There is also apparently some evidence suggesting that not only will the games be campaign only, but they also might be single player only, at least the PS5 version. The leaker claims that their source was able to take a look at the back end of the PSN store, and while the Gears of War collection does indeed exist on PSN right now, it apparently only has support for one player, meaning the campaigns won't even have co-op, let alone split screen. Now, if that's true, I have absolutely no idea who's calling the shots on this project, because that would be such a massive missed opportunity. It would do potentially more harm than good when it comes to hyping people for the future of the series. Can you imagine if the Gears of War collection finally ends up being revealed and we get the original trilogy all beefed up with modern visuals, higher frame rates, but there's no multiplayer, there's no Horde, there's no co-op in the campaign? At that point, why would Microsoft even release it? So much of the Gears of War experience was playing the campaign with your buddies, grinding Horde mode with your buddies, and rising the ranks in PvP multiplayer. I really, really, really hope this part of the leak ends up not being true. Because if the game comes out and it's just the campaigns and there is zero co-op, people are going to be pissed. They may actually not buy it. Now, part of me thinks this part of the leak is actually inaccurate. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to convince myself and you here. According to the leaker, They said their source was looking at the back end of the PSN to see the game's store page. But I think we all know that digital store pages often end up being inaccurate or unfinished at the time they leak. I'm sure you've all seen the leaked PSN or Steam store pages where the game isn't listing all the features, and that's simply because the developer or the publisher, they weren't finished putting it together yet, which is totally fair since they weren't expecting anybody to see it yet. So even though the current store page for the Gears of War collection might only list support for one player, that doesn't necessarily mean the game as a whole will only have single-player support. Frankly, I think and hope that this is simply a case of Microsoft not being finished building out the store page yet, and that's why the multiplayer support isn't listed. But another little piece of information from the store page is apparently a PS5 Pro Enhanced label, which is pretty cool. If you've never played Gears of War before, and you have a PS5 Pro, getting to play the classic game with all the fancy PS5 Pro enhancements, that's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun way to introduce you to the franchise, that is, assuming it actually ships with the multiplayer, which we'll see. Now, one last piece of the leaks is that it seems the collection is only going to have the first 3 Gears of War games, but I don't think that's a problem for people. It's not a problem for me. The original trilogy is what people think of when they think of classic Gears. That's no disrespect to Gears 4 and 5 or Gears Judgment. It just makes sense for Gears 4 and 5 to be omitted from the collection since they're already available on PC and Xbox Series consoles with pretty hefty visual enhancements from the original Xbox One versions. And Gears Judgment was honestly never really that popular with the main Gears community anyway. I know Judgment had a passionate fan base, but it reviewed much worse than the rest of the series. And it didn't hold a candle to the core trilogy, so it would make sense for Microsoft to leave it out of the collection, although I wouldn't be shocked at all if they get added to the collection later as DLC, similar to how Halo Reach and Halo 3 ODST were added to the Master Chief Collection as DLC a few years after launch. Now, memories. Let's just talk about this. Memories playing Gears on the 360. I mean, you had multiplayer, co-op, horde mode. They were absolutely essential to the Gears identity, so re-releasing the classic games as single player could end up being the dumbest thing ever done in gaming history if it ends up being true. I mean, we'll see. And the fact that it could be releasing on the PS5 and you could play with friends on there, you're talking a whole new just platform of players. It's crazy. It could be, they could do this so well. And hopefully we're wrong on the single player thing and it's just not updated on the page because that would be crazy. And I just go back to a memory I had. This was way back. I think I don't even know when this was. It was a long time ago when the Mitsubishi big 70-inch big screens with the big backs were the ones. We took a bunch of them. We brought them all into my living room and we hooked them all up and we played Gears of War Horde mode all night. I've got a picture of it somewhere. It looks like it was taken on a potato, but it was some of the best gaming memories of my life with friends in real life. So we'll see. I'm excited regardless. I'm going to get it regardless. But hopefully they do this right. If I get any new updates or leaks, I'll let you guys know.